Welcome to another episode of the Property Nomads podcast, and today we're going to be looking at 6 ways to add value to a property. There are, of course, many different ways to add value to a property, so not everything's going to be covered here. If I was trying to attempt to cover everything, this podcast could probably go on for quite a few hours. So these are some of the main ways that you can add value to a property. As with all of these will be location dependent. This will depend on your target market. This will depend on your strategy. Depends on what you're doing. So I'm going to make that caveat right now, rather than have to say it after every single one. As investors, we should all know our target market, what the end game is, who we're aiming these properties, these homes for. So therefore, do bear that in mind when we go through these 6 ways to add value to a property. They're in no particular order either, just as an FYI. Number 1, add a new kitchen and bathroom. It's very easy to add a new kitchen and bathroom. People are browsing around on Rightmove, Zoopla, on the market, or you go and visit loads of properties. Any bathroom that's got carpet in, you could probably get a better bathroom in there. Same with the kitchen. Does it look very old? Do the appliances look old? Does it, do things not function? And it can be quite simple to put a new kitchen and a new bathroom in. Why would you do that? Especially if you're flipping property, those are the things that people take most attention of. Probably the garden as well. But new kitchen, new bathroom, is it striking? Does it do the job? And they don't have to be expensive. Again, going back to that caveat, just remember your target market, remember your area. Don't go putting £20,000 kitchen into a £60,000 house. I have read stories of people that have done that and completely misjudged the area. And when you're doing that as well, a new kitchen doesn't always necessarily have to be complete new carcasses and every nook and cranny. Sometimes, again, depending on area, depending on what you're doing, you can just get away with, say, replacing most of the doors, for example, to give it that fresh look. Maybe a new bit of lino, flooring, etc., etc. But adding a new kitchen, a new bathroom, upgrading it at least, is a good way to add value. You could always add another bedroom, number 2. You could always add a new bedroom. For example, turning a 2-bed into a 3-bed. Maybe turning a 3-bed into a 4-bed. Perfectly normal thing to do. Again, what's the demand like in the area? If you create a new bedroom, are you just creating a really crap box room that that's pretty much null and void? It can't stand these sort of some of the modern build properties where they advertise this 3-bedroom house or 4-bedroom house, and you go in, you can, well, in my case, just about fit my left arse cheek in the box room. Not a fan of that personally. So you've got to be looking at the floor plan if you're doing that. Are you creating decent sized rooms that are going to meet the needs and the demands of the area of the target market? And they can add quite a bit of value in the local market as well. I remember doing some work with a client who bought a 2-bed property. I think it's about £55,000, give or take. Added a 3rd bedroom on it, and about 9 months later, it was revalued at £75,000. And the cost of putting a new bedroom in, again, minimal, stud wall, some electrics, split a window. It wasn't too bad, and quite a good return on that. So that's something to look out for as well. Adding a new bedroom, another good way to add value to a property. 3rd way to add value to a property, lick of paint. Do the basics, new carpets, decor, spruce it up a little bit. Perception's a funny thing. You go into a room and let's just say you've got really horrible coloured walls and the carpet's scruffy, there's no underlay, all of that sort of stuff. You can add, I wouldn't say a significant amount of value, but you can certainly add a decent amount of value by giving it a bit of a spruce up. So painting it, decorating it, new carpets, bits and pieces like that. Just make it look more presentable as well. I would say first impressions are vital. So if you could do a bit of extra work in the garden, front or rear, if it has a garden, of course, or on the approach, do that as well. That can be quite a decent investment, because people, as we all do, judge quite quickly. So add a lick of paint or new carpets, bits and pieces like that. Number 4, you can create open plan living. This is becoming more and more popular as times go by. It certainly wasn't a thing back in the day, especially in your grander properties. You have your dining room, your sitting room, your lounge, your billiards room if you were that affluent, various bedrooms, bathrooms, washrooms, etc., etc. Nowadays, there seems to be this trend towards open living, open plan, to people to make use of space. So if you've got a kitchen diner or kitchen lounge and you've got a stud wall in between or something like that, do consider knocking that down, maybe changing the layout of the kitchen, creating this open plan living, because that is a good way to add value, and it also can create a wow factor. So it could be a main selling point if you're looking to flip property. It could also be a main selling point for rental market as well. So do bear that in mind. It can be quite simple to create open plan living too. And number 5, you can add an extension. Won't always work with every single property, of course. You'll think about what you're adding an extension for. Let's go back to that kitchen diner example. If you've got a kitchen diner, maybe you can extend that out even further and create a massive open living section. Maybe you want to add an extension, a double extension to the side of a semi-detached property and create a garage with a bedroom above it. Maybe you want to do a double extension and add 2 bedrooms. Maybe the area's suitable for that. Again, I'll go back to the caveat at the start of the episode. This depends on your strategy. It depends on your area. You might even be thinking of doing this to your own private residence. Nothing wrong with that at all. Look at what works in the area and ultimately do what works for you as well. But you can add an extension. They can come in all various shapes, forms and sizes. So again, another way to add value to a property. And the final one, this is if you've got a freehold block of flats or you're looking to do that, can you split the flats into leases? It's quite a popular strategy. It's quite niche as well. People will go in, buy freehold blocks of flats, even if they're old Georgian houses that have been converted, for example. They'll go in, buy the block freehold, and then split into leaseholds, create that leasehold, and then some people might retain the freehold, or some people might then sell the freehold as well. So that is a very, very good way of adding quite a considerable amount of value. Again, area dependent. Really, really good way of doing it. And it is also one of those strategies where you can be, if you're clever about it, you can be in and out relatively quickly. So it's the time it takes to buy the thing, the time it takes for the leases to get split, and then if you're selling them, the time it takes to sell them. Very, very good strategy to have. So there's 6 ways to add value to a property. As I mentioned at the start of the episode, it's area dependent. There are, we could spend hours talking about the different intrinsic ways, or the intricate ways even, to add value. But they would be the main way. So just run through them again. Number 1, add a new kitchen and bathroom, or refurb the kitchen and bathroom. Number 2 would be add a bedroom. Number 3, lick of paint, new carpets, decor, spruce it up a little bit. Number 4, create open plan living. Number 5, add an extension. Number 6, if you're buying a freehold block of flats, for example, you can split them into separate units, create leases, and then sell the flats that way, and then either retain the freehold or sell the freehold as well. Coming up in a few weeks' time, we're going to be working on possibly a new intro and a new outro as well. A few people have messaged me with some great feedback on the books and products and services that we offer, and I appreciate that. And we realise that we haven't got an outro for that to guide people to the books, so we're not adding as much value as we can to you, which we feel bad for. So look out for a new intro or outro moving forwards in future episodes. Got some awesome content coming up, some great interviews coming up on the show soon. And as always, stay in touch with us on the social medias. Anything you would like us to cover on the podcast, best way to contact us, email rob@tpnpodcast.com. Until next time, arrivederci.